Imagine someone murdering your child because, well, they were bored. So pew pew. This is just unsurprising because we have seen this type of behavior from the beginning, from the IOF soldiers. But now one of them has actually confirmed that this is exactly what has been happening. I don't think any of us who have been following needed an article to prove or confirm that, well, this is violent, maniacal, evil behavior they're exhibiting. But now there is testimony. There is an article. Unfortunately, this is another one of those articles that we'll be waving around, hoping for media to pick up on, but no one will. Just like there's this one that discusses how they used the Hannibal Directive on October 7th to kill their own people. Again, something that is just not very surprising to the majority of us. Yay, Zionists, great, great people. Here's something you might not have known though. In 2009, a research article came out in the Journal of Peace, written by two professors at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. And they did an analysis where they highlighted Israeli soldiers' brutal behaviors during the first Intifada. So they analyzed 21 male soldiers and came to the conclusion that several psychological processes such as moral disengagement, dehumanization, and de-individuation were powerful inducers of brutality. And so they divided these 21 men into 5 subgroups: callous/impulsive, ideologically violent, the followers, the restrained, and the incorruptible. And they wanted to analyze each subgroup based on the behaviors exhibited, their thought processes, their state of mind, so on and so forth. So each subgroup has its own characteristics, its own behavior, and there's a whole analysis centered around each one, but I'm not going to go through those. But each one of these can affect and influence the other soldiers in the other subgroups. But what I do want to share are some direct quotes from the soldiers themselves that were part of this study, so you can see how mentally fucked up these individuals are. Imagine how powerful I felt all the time. I could kick anyone in the head and nobody would talk. I could do anything I wanted. You are no longer controlled by the law. You feel that you are the law. As if the moment you pass from Israel to Gaza, you are the law. You are God. Hence the God complex that we see from them. Second quote. I am taking aim, waiting for him to throw a stone at me to give me a good reason to shoot him, and I would put the bullet right between his eyes. This soldier actually felt regret about sharing how he felt with his commander, about how his state of mind was and his thought process and things that he was worried about. Because after he was removed from service, he said, quote, "So I didn't shoot anyone, and I really feel bad about it, really bad, because now the Palestinian will throw stones at another soldier and could injure him." Another quote. I was never violent before my service. I didn't even raise my hands to anyone as a kid. But once I had crossed the red line, all my limits broke down. They did not just break, they shattered into pieces. After that point, everything was allowed because everyone was doing it all the time. We're talking about groupthink. We're talking about the threshold theory. There's a lot of things that are happening to these individuals that are unraveling in their minds as they step foot in Gaza with the permission of their commanders and the state and the government to do whatever the fuck they want. Last quote. My own limit didn't break down all at once, but in stages. It's a step-by-step process. You don't feel so much at each stage, and then there's another step and another step until you reach your limit. It's so similar to the previous step. In the first step, it's a slap. In the second, it's a kick. The third was blah, blah, blah. And that's how it unravels for them because they keep pushing their limit, their threshold for acceptable behavior. And then at some point, everything is acceptable. And that is what we are seeing happening time and time again. It's just at a whole different fucking violent, evil scale at this moment in time.